Well, I think insight is important, but insight never changes behavior. I don't care what the insight is. Your father was overbearing, your mother was a perfectionist, you have a chemical imbalance in your brain, Mercury's in retrograde, you were this person in a past life. All the insight, all the information does not change the condition. We have to get into the operating system. We have to get into those programs, those emotional reactions, those unconscious beliefs, those unconscious habits, and begin to reprogram that. And there's a way to do that, because the whole purpose of meditation is to get beyond the analytical mind. And what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. And the only way you're going to know how to do that is to learn how to regulate your brainwaves and begin to slow them down. So as you begin to slow down your brainwaves, you get beyond your analytical mind, and you're entering that operating system where all those programs exist. And 95% of who we are by the time we're 35 years old, it's a set of memorized behaviors, unconscious emotional reactions, unconscious beliefs, perceptions, hardwired attitudes that function automatically like a computer program. That means that 95% of the time people are unconscious to how they're being, right? And so becoming conscious of that, overcoming, even if you just say every day I'm going to overcome my fear. Every day I'm going to overcome my depression. Every day I'm going to feel better than yesterday. That act of doing that you're informing the system. You're putting new information into your body that's causing your body maybe slowly every day to begin to change. And of course, some days are easier than others, but I have so much hope in that, because I think that's innate in us. I think that's what we naturally know what to do when we're challenged to that measure. There are two very important windows that open up that allow your body and your brain to be more suggestible to information. And that is when you wake up in the morning, your brain waves go from very slow delta to theta to alpha to beta. And when you go to bed at night, you go from beta to alpha, theta to delta. So you slide up the scale when you wake up, and you slide down the scale when you go to bed at night. And most people, when they go to bed at night, they just go from beta, boom, right down the delta. They fall very quickly. But you can teach people then how to just sit and slow everything down and begin to visualize, begin to affirm, begin to change their thoughts, to begin to work with their body. When they wake up in the morning, when they go to bed at night. And it seems, according to our research, that those changes can last for hours. A person feels better. They don't feel as stressed. They don't feel as imbalanced. They don't feel as incoherent. They're not worrying as much. They're not obsessing as much. They're not over-focused about something as much. Those are beautiful windows when we wake up in the morning and when we go to bed at night. Well, thoughts are the vocabulary of the brain, and feelings are the vocabulary of our body, and how we think and how we feel creates a state of being. So what do most people do when they wake up in the morning? Your brain is a record of the past. It's an artifact, a memory bank of everything you've learned and experienced to this moment. So people wake up in the morning and they start thinking about their problems. And those problems are memories in the brain that are connected to certain people and certain things at certain times and places. So they wake up in the morning and they start thinking in the past. Now, the moment they start having those thoughts, every one of those experiences has an emotion associated with it. So when they start thinking about their problems, or the problems of the world, or the problems of their body, or whatever it is, problems at work, they all of a sudden start to feel the correlated emotion. So now their body's in the past. So now people then get caught up in an emotion. They reaffirm their identity. They could wake up in the morning and feel nothing at all. And then all of a sudden they say, well, wait a second, I got to get back to myself. So they start thinking about their problems, and here come the emotions, and they say, oh, now I feel like me again. So those emotions then begin to influence our thoughts. Like if you feel like a failure, you're going to think you're a failure. And when you think you're a failure, you're going to feel like a failure. And when you feel like a failure, you're going to think more thoughts equal to being a failure. And the cycle of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking causes you to say, I am a failure. And well, you become one. That's your state of being. And the repetition of that process of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking conditions the body to become the mind of that emotion. Now the emotion is stored in the body. Now the body's literally in the past. And the body, as the unconscious mind, doesn't know the difference between the actual experience that's creating the emotion and the emotion that you're creating by thought alone. Your body's believing it's in the same experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Body is still living in that past experience. So then getting people out of the past is the work. So then they wake up in the morning after they reaffirm who they are and they can't think greater than how they feel. They're in the familiar past. So if you're in the familiar past, you're going to do the things that reaffirm the emotions of your predictable future. So you wake up in the morning, you check your WhatsApp, you check your text, you check your Twitter, you tweet, you check your Facebook, you check your email, you check the news, you check your other email. Now you are really connected to everything that's known in your life. And then you run through a series of routine behaviors. You move around your house the same way you always do. You do all the same things. You go to the same grocery store. You buy the same food. You shop the same way. You do all these, you watch the same TV shows, and people do this and for 10, 20, 30 years. Now, their body's on autopilot, and their body's dragging them into a predictable future based on what they did in the past. We could actually take their yesterday and lift it up and set it on their tomorrow, which means then they've lost their free will. So now the familiar past and the predictable future is called the known. There's only one place that you have to train a person to be so that they're not in the known, they're in the unknown, and that's called the present moment. So people get very happy being unhappy because they would rather cling to their unhappiness than take a chance in possibilities. So stepping into that river and beginning to make a new choice, and understanding that uncertainty, that unpredictability is the unknown. Now you're in that river of change, and it is the neurological, the biological, the chemical, hormonal, genetic death of the old self. And people say to me, well, if there's uncertainty, I can't predict my future. And I always say the same thing. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Not in the known, right there. That uncertainty, you can learn now how to regulate your state. Instead of living in fear because, well, the idea that things are going to get worse, the idea that you can't predict, or the idea of being uncertain or can't control something actually sets off the stress response. So now you're in the unknown, and this survival gene is switched on. Of course, people are going to, out of the infinite possibilities that exist in the quantum field, they're going to select the worst scenario in their mind, right? So then what if you're in the unknown and you understand that, and now you can work back into that present moment and you say, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain, put my attention behind? What behaviors today, one day, what behaviors do I want to demonstrate? And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing who you're going to be when you open your eyes begins to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it. Now the brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's a map to the future. So by rehearsing mentally, and doing it over and over again, the hardware becomes a software program, and who knows, you just might start acting like a happy person. Well, there's no magic there. You install the circuitry. You may start thinking in more unlimited ways. You put those circuits in place. Now, here's the tough part. And can you teach your body emotionally what that future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? That means you can't wait for your healing to feel gratitude and wholeness. You can't wait for your wealth to feel worthy and abundant. You can't wait for your new lover to feel love. That's the old model of reality of cause and effect. Waiting for something outside of us to take away our emptiness and pain that we feel inside of us. That's Newtonian cause and effect. The quantum model of reality is about causing an effect. That means the moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you create an equal. Well, the moment you start feeling gratitude and wholeness, your healing actually starts to begin. So then the word meditation literally means to become familiar with. That's what that word means. So the biological model is, well, you got to become familiar with your unconscious thoughts. You got to become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors. You got to become so familiar with your emotional state, saying, oh my God, I've been feeling guilt for the last 10 years. I didn't know it was guilt. It just felt like me.
Wow, what a great video. I hope you enjoyed this amazing interview with Dr. Joe Dispenza. We are continuing with our daily practice of completing the inspiring quotes. You need to complete the quote, and if you can do it first and give us the right answer, you're the daily winner. In the previous video, we were looking for 2 words of Joe Dispenza's quote. The quote goes like this: we cannot create a new future by holding on to the emotions of. The correct answer is the past. So we can not create a new future by holding the emotions of the past. Congratulations to everyone with the right answer. We only had few wrong answers. Since I know you love Joe Dispenza, today's quote is from Joe Dispenza also. We are looking for two words. You all are familiar with Joe Dispenza's work, so this one shouldn't be so difficult. So the quote goes like this. Meditation opens the door between the conscious and... Write your answers in the comments below the video and tell me if you love this video and our new way of ending the videos. If you're not sure what the right answer is, try and guess. The first one with the correct answer is the winner. If you like this video, give your thumbs up and share it with your friends. Help me make this video more popular. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button and don't miss any of new videos and new challenges. If you really like what we do here and want to support us, you can join our channel and our community for a symbolic fee and gain many other additional features. You can do that by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can click on the link in the description of this video. Stay good and have a great day.